No new trades for me here, all right? Good afternoon. This is Ifan from the Strategic Day Trader, and this is your market wrap for August 27th, 2019. Q is initially gapping up, going to close down 0.17 there. We got about 5 minutes left, a little over 5 minutes. Down a little bit. SPY down 0.36. I think the big one that looks bearish is going to be the IWM here, down 1.35, looking lower on the daily here. Okay, coming into today, we were saying if we get over this yesterday's high, that we were no longer going to be bearish, but there is the potential that we explore higher and come right back in. Okay, that was what I was just saying, just be aware of. That might happen. That's pretty much what happened here, is that we tried to explore higher and then we came in. So going into tomorrow, neutral to bearish. Okay, so we did get a bit of a buy set up here. So I think what we can work with here is, because we did explore higher and then come right back in, right, is that underneath today's low, back to bearish. Okay. So the reason that we switched to neutral is not just because, well, I mean, really two sides of the same coin. The hourly sell setup failed, right? The downtrend could not continue, which is a lot like what we got here, right? Which we got right here, okay? Which was, it tried to put in a downtrend based on the previous day's action on the hourly, tried to go lower, went right back up, right? And then, so now when we came in, we got follow through, we did a sell setup, and we failed on it. Okay, so underneath today's low, back to bearish. Otherwise, we're going to be neutral going into tomorrow. Don't really have a case for a bullish bias yet. If we rally and then maybe give us a buy setup, something like that. Yeah, we're at least two setups away from a bullish bias. So we'll see. If we get a gap up maybe over this daily resistance, I mean, anything could happen here, right? If we gap up over this, then all out bullish, right? If we gap up over, let's say 189.70, if we gap up over that, then that would be all out bullish. Okay, so barring any kind of large gap tomorrow, right, then we're going to be looking neutral to bearish, right? Initiate the bearish bias if we get underneath today's low. Okay, so we'll see what transpires tomorrow. All right, wanted to get into today's play. All right, today's play was the TME. All right, there was a call on the TME this morning. All right, looking for, you can see there was the daily, nice gap down. When the market was gapping up, right, that's pretty key there. And then we got this base, tried to break out, and then got rejected. All right, so here was the call here on the TME, right? Called it right here. And then we got the breakdown, and I gave it to you as target one initially, 1280. You can see we blew right past that. So once we got past it, I was saying trail half 1 minute bar by bar here on the TME. Okay, so you can see on the 1 minute, why did I go to the 1 minute for that piece? Because the 1 minute was pretty nice and clean here. Okay, this one did come up as an additional gap, found it later, was basing at the lows while the market was kind of sideways to up, at least in the first hour or so, until it started to grind lower. Okay, so that was nice. Underneath this bottoming tail here, right, we got the breakdown right in here, and then the nice follow through, trail half. Okay, 1 minute bar by bar. Eventually some trailed right here over 1270. And then the last piece, we did 5 minute bar by bar on the last piece. Okay, and so then that came out, I think, over 57 here on the 5 minute on the TME. Okay, so that came out right in here. All right. So the TME, only play call from me today, but what I wanted to kind of go over today is the kind of how patterns, how strategies, how they are applied. Okay, and so if we look at some of the plays from the last few days, and the ZGNX I went over yesterday, even though it didn't work. Actually, it worked a bit and not enough, right? Not enough for me to feel rewarded. So I ended up trailing for a partial loss on the TME. So what is this ZGNX? How do I categorize this, right? It's a pro gap base and then a breakdown on the ZGNX, right? And it didn't go as far as we would have liked to have seen, didn't really get nice enough of a target, and then it reversed, and so that play ended up being lost. But that is a pro gap, and we played it with a breakdown, okay? And what was today on the TME, right? Also a pro gap down, right? And then we played it off a base breakdown, okay? Base breakdown here, okay? Right there, breakdown. Okay, how did we play the FL from Friday? Okay, also a pro gap on Friday, and we let it set up a base breakdown at the lows here. Okay, you can see not as clean of a base here as some of the others, but this, I really like this gap, so I was willing to excuse that it didn't have quite the nicest duration of the base. We played it basically as it was breaking the lows here, okay? If you want, you can go back and look at Friday's video to see kind of where the exits were. We didn't get the bottom, of course, but it was a nice play nonetheless. Okay, and so that is the idea behind a strategy and a pattern that you know has a positive expectancy, right? So that's why I want to let the pattern set up, the strategy set up, right? And there's going to be a lot of plays. I know because we had quite a lot of people in the open house and quite a lot of people who joined who kind of are giving out plays and still getting a feel for what are the things that I'm going to call, what are the things that I'm going to go after, right? And so hopefully by seeing the consistency here and what I'm looking for, right, in the plays that I'm playing, right, you know that, you know, they're going to be the same strategy. It's not the only one. We play pullbacks. We play 1-2-3s. There was a nice call from Sammy today on the NVTR as a 1-2-3, right? But there is a set specific tool set, right, of strategies here. Here's the 1-2-3. Here's the 1, the 2 bar, and the entry bar. 1-2-3, breakout, breakdown, pullback, sell setup, all of that, right? And then that kind of tell us when we play things, when there is really an opportunity for us, right? You know, it's so that we let the play set up, we look for these plays that give us good odds and good reward to risk, and then we repeat them, right? So that we can stay consistent. If you do the same thing, you know it's a profitable strategy, profitable play, right? And that also helps so that, you know, if I know the ZGNX, of course, was disappointing yesterday. I really wanted to see more out of this based on where it was on the daily. It was down a lot, but I wanted to see it at least get down to maybe close more of this gap here, right? But I know that this play, right, is a positive expectancy, right? Playing the pro gap, playing these kind of base breakdowns, showing relative weakness, so that when this TME comes up, right, I know that it's my play and there's no kind of hesitation or doubt about whether I should play it or not. Of course, there's always a little bit of doubt of whether it'll work or not. That I never know for sure, right? But as far as should this be played, is this my setup, is this my play? Yeah, of course. Then that I know for sure. Okay? So that's the thing that we want to be able to establish. It's not that I'm going to catch every play that works. You know, sometimes I'll miss it. Sometimes it's just not my play, right? I think the plan, like we were looking at the plan today, and, you know, someone mentioned how it had this nice rally. I don't have a strategy for this. You know, this rally here out of this, you know, I could make something up that we had a little bit of retest of the support, and then the market popped and this got going. But I know that this is not a setup that I'm going to play every day. If I, you know, when it comes to playing something long, right, and I kind of went over this with the room because we found it right as after it had broken out. I said, this is good. We missed this play. Now, I'm sure other metals also worked out well, but this was clearing on the daily and setting up a base breakout of the highs. Notice I play longs as a base breakout over the highs. They play shorts as a base breakdown over the lows, right? That's how I'm going to play typically, right? Any kind of base, as opposed to playing, bases off the lows. So something like this EXC, sometimes they'll work, but I'm not going to be playing this low of the day base long. I am looking for low of the day bases on a gap down to play short, right? And so that's what the FL, the TME, the ZDNX, right? So I know it's my play. I know it works, right? Over a series of plays. So we just keep on repeating, right? Okay, so that was the TME from today. All right, remember going into tomorrow, we will be neutral to bearish. All right, if we get underneath today's low here, all right, we are doing a bit of a sell setup, but really we're just in this sideways sloppy mess that we've been in, right? We're looking to see if we're going to break out here. Market instead came back down. And now we're looking to see if we are going to make another leg down and finally get out of this kind of range that we've been stuck in, okay, for about a month now. So, all right, we'll see underneath today's low, we will be bearish, okay? And so going into tomorrow, that's what we'll be looking for. All right, hope you did well today. If not, we'll be back at it tomorrow, and I'll talk to you then. All right, have a good evening.